Welcome to episode 104 of the New York Times Global Vision podcast. This is your host, Shlomo Davidstein. Today we've put together a very special episode for you, tackling some of the most problematic and monumentous issues facing the world today. Male loneliness is reaching all-time highs, especially in Japan, where over 50% of men have become social recluses. A new social phenomenon known as hikikomori has become big in Japan, where young men are self-exiling in their parents' homes and refusing to interact with the outside world for years at a time. Japanese birth rates are plummeting, and as a non-white population, that is not okay. Equally troubling is the fate of Jewish women in America. Much to their parents' chagrin, many Jewish American princesses are unable to find beaux meeting their high standards of making over $250,000 a year, while also being willing to be completely domineered and pussy-whipped. But luckily, the great minds over at the Shalom Hartman Institute think tank, in collaboration with the Japanese Impregnation Stimulus Ministry, have developed a new global matchmaking network, Japs for Japs. I'm joined by one of the first couples to be matched by this wonderful new program. Deborah Rosenbaum, a marketing executive for Estée Lauder and a self-described Jewish American princess, was still unmarried at 34, unable to meet a man fulfilling her high standards. Meet Fuyuki Hondo. A Japanese software engineer and antisocial remote worker, he was still a virgin at 29 and didn't think he would ever be able to build up the courage to talk to a real woman, let alone have sex with one. I don't get why he didn't just switch teams. But through the Japs for Japs dating app, this unlikely couple was brought together for a chance at a new life. We'll hear the first-hand account of this incredible love story from the Japs themselves. But first, an ad for the New York Times new celebrity cooking podcast, Taste of the Future.
Hello, I'm Reggie Zahed, here today at the oldest eel and sausage shop in all of East London, Listeria's, as I continue my exploration of the best in British cuisine. Here with me is the shop's proprietor, Geezer Suttonworth. Geezer's grandfather originated the shop's famous recipe by heaping a giant pile of jellied eels and blood sausages on a plate and dousing them with liquor. Isn't that correct?
Yes, that's exactly how it happened.
Now, there's been some controversy that your blood sausages are no longer made using the most prime ingredients. Is that the case?
Oi, now that's a load of bollocks. Coincidentally, our blood sausages are made using the finest pig bollocks mixed together with the menstrual blood of Pakistani wenches. They're probably the most delectable thing you can find to eat in the entirety of the East End of London, other than our very own jellied eels. Here, try some.
Pass me that brandy, I gotta wash this shit down. What a delight. Now, is it true that jellied eels are a powerful aphrodisiac?
I should say, not only are eels the most nutrimental food there is, but on top of that, if you walk around with a jellied eel in your trousers, you're bound to have a load of skags following after you and trying to slob on your knob.
Okay, we're back with Deborah Rosenbaum and Fuyuki Hondo. Now, we'll start with Fuyuki. Tell me about the path that led you to try the Japs for Japs app.
Actually, I should answer that. Ever heard of ladies first?
Oh, you go, girl.
So anyway, I've been sleeping around a lot, but I was never able to find the one. Maybe I'm a cynic, but I could only see myself settling down with a man with dog-like loyalty. In a word, a bitch. My mom told me about Japs for Japs after she heard about it on JNS. She was always gay on my talkers about getting married. You know how Japs are.
Oh, trust me, honey. I get it. I was raised by one. Now, Fuyuki Hondo, what's your story?
Oh, Hiroshima-san. I was living at home in my mother's basement, and I had a sense of anxiety about going outside. I had not left my basement or spoken to a woman that I was not related to in over 4 years. I prefer browse internet rather than to meet real life people. I spent a lot of time on work as remote game developer for Nintendo Switch or crafting doujin.
And what is doujin?
Doujin is a fan-made manga art. I specialized in hentai, drawing pictures of a naked half a cat, half a schoolgirls getting penetrated by sea monsters.
Wow, that's so neat.
Yes, but my mother, she said that I was bringing shame to our family, and I must either get married quickly or commit seppuku with a dual chopstick. I was afraid I could only be attracted to a woman if she was being raped by tentacle, but then I met my lovely Deborah.
Wow, what a journey. But tell me, what are your favorite things about each other?
Oh, my favorite thing about Deborah is her strength. Having such a confident wife makes me feel confident. I realized I have much to feel secure about. For instance, my penis is nearly 4 inches long when erect, making me one of the most well-endowed men from all of Japan.
That's enough, Fuyuki. Don't be such a schmendrick. He's okay, I guess. He lets me do what I want, and I don't have to worry about him cheating on me, so that's nice.
Wow, I can just feel the love emanating between you two. You seem like a match made in heaven. But let me ask, do you plan to add any kids to the mix in the future?
Well, right now we are dinksu, dura income no kids. We enjoy the time this gives us to spend together. So as of now, having kids is as likely as the sun rising in the west. Also, Deborah tells me that by impregnating her, I would be dishonor to her family. And if I were ever to do so, I must express my sincere apology through the ritual of Yubitsume. This is the ancient Japanese custom of atonement by the severing of the little finger to show remorse to another. Although in my case, Deborah says that since my cock is like a little finger, I must cut that off instead.
Yes, I definitely don't want to ever be pregnant, but maybe in my 40s I'll want to have a kid around. Fuyuki can't be involved, though. Like he said, his genes would be a yellow stain on my Jewish heritage. If I ever feel the need, I'll probably just adopt an African child.
Oh, that's so cute. I can just picture it now. Now, Fuyuki, you mentioned the time you save are spending together with Deborah. Do you have any activities or hobbies you can share with us, like dancing or cooking?
I don't cook. I go out on dates to fancy restaurants. I'm such a good wife. Sometimes I even bring Fuyuki home a doggy bag. Yes, and I make him eat it out of a dog bowl. It's so cute. I also like to walk around in public and drag him around on a leash like a Chinese toddler at Disney World.
Yes, so it is as she said.
Let me say, you two make a really cute couple. Do you have any loving nicknames for each other?
Oh yes, so my wonderful Deborah makes me call her Mistress, and she is so sweet. She says I am like a wet ramen noodle.
That's not a compliment.
Oh.
You two are so adorable. I just love that playful back and forth. Well, it's safe to say, Japs for Japs has led to a wonderful relationship for all involved.
Oh yes, so mother says that Deborah is too young, but I do not care. She is my golden queen. She showers me with her golden love every day.
Shut up, Fuyuki. You're oversharing again.
Oh, I'm so sorry, baby.
Should I tell them about how much of a pathetic schlub you were before you met me? He spent all day sitting on his computer, and his only friend was a stupid guru, Hideki Heidecker.
Ooh, this is getting spicy. Tell me about this Hideki Heidecker character.
Oh, Deborah, may I speak, please? Hideki was my guru sensei. He's a programmer endorses self-improvement through self-hatred. He teaches that if you hate your face, you must practice bone smashing, break your jawbones, and make them a hero in a more masculine manner. He is another reason why I joined Japs for Japs, to look for a waifu. He said that if I do not find a feminine role by the time I turn 30, I must consider to dress up like the Joker and stab many females on Kyoto subway.
See what a loser Fuyuki is? He'd be nothing without me.
Oh, yes, my sweet cherry blossom, that is so true. Since Deborah does not allow me to talk to Hideki anymore, now I aspire to the most masculine of all Japanese men, Yukio Mishima.
Mishima's a Mashagara! You need to stop trying to be masculine, Fuyuki. It's a lost cause.
Yes, Fuyuki, you need to get a grip. All this talk about men needing to be masculine and women needing to be feminine, it's so backwards.
So true, but can we wrap this up? I just got Fuyuki's paycheck, and I need to get to Neiman before they close.
Okay, here's the paramount question. I know we've all been thinking it, so let me ask. How's your sex life?
Well, sometimes it is okay, but it can be very painful when she whips on me and hits on me on the head with her.
Fuyuki, stop gaslighting me. He enjoys it. His love language is beating.
And now a message from our author in residence, Neil Gaiman. Oh, I just love him.
Hello, my name is Neil Gaiman. I've heard my name pronounced various different ways. Gaiman is very popular, but it's definitely Gaiman. It's the kind of name that started off life in places like Poland as a Hayman, and then when it came to England, a customs man changed it to Gaiman, and then my grandmother completely changed the spelling because she didn't like the way they'd spelled it before. So that's it. Neil Gaiman.
Neil Gaiman, everybody. Isn't he amazing? My friend Ronaldo was invited to his non-legally binding flash mob wedding, and he said it was just wonderful. And now, if you loved this, you'll love Now This with Joe Girardi.
And now this with me, your host, Joe Girardi. Now this is the podcast where I navigate you through today's deluge of pop cultural phenomenons. Next up on the Now This Wow list, Labiba Abi Kabab, a Lebanese pop-punk musician and poet. She's very hot right now. Labiba is joining me today for a discussion on queerness in the pop-punk scene of Lebanon. So, Labiba, how would you describe yourself and your music?
Well, first and foremost, I'd say I'm a neurodivergent, gender non-conforming, Lebanese-American, lesbian, cyber pop punk superstar and frontperson for the quasi-queer band Quasar Queef. As for my music, I'd describe it as an abrasive and confrontational blend of queer power pop and hardcore anti-fascist punk, all wrapped up in a space-age aesthetic.
Wow, that's really great. It sounds like you have a ton of fight. Now, it says here that you're using your music to challenge the traditional interpretations of Islam, as well as the corruption of world governments. Is that true? Or did my interns give me false information again?
Okay, first off, I'd appreciate it if you didn't use the term intern. It harkens back to the internment camps and could be highly triggering to some people.
You don't have to tell me about internment camps, honey. I was intern at Yankee Stadium for 10 years. They made me sleep in the dugout, and I had to subsist on a diet of sunflower seed shells, used bubblegum, and chewing tobacco.
Wow, you're a white cis male. I don't think you have anything to complain about. Have you thought about the real victims? The LGBTQIA+ youths who are being genocided by a tyrannical, theo-fascist government?
Oh wow, I learn something new every day. But can we get back to my question? I'm trying to do my job here. The editors are going to fire me if I keep getting lost on tangents and don't get answers to some of these questions.
Fine. I believe that art needs to be important. Otherwise, you're just wasting time that could have been spent in a never-ending struggle against the cis heteronormative power structure. The Lebanese government, the American government, all of the mainstream Islamic and Christian groups, they're also homophobic. It's disgusting. So by writing lyrics and embodying aesthetics that are so unapologetically queer, we're really sticking it to these assholes.
Wonderful. I hope you don't consider me one of those assholes.
I do.
So it's safe to say that queerness is a big part of the Lebanese punk scene?
Oh yeah. Other than Quasar Queef, there's the Burqa Boys, Astral Ass Blasters, and Lesbala. We're all incorporating queer themes into our lyrics, and I think we're making really important strides in spreading awareness of LGBTQIA+ Middle Eastern identities. We all meet up at hookah bars, get spaced out on hash, and share song ideas and STDs. We have like this big communal safe space for us to hash out ideas on how to express our queerness in the modern world.
Do you have any lyrics or poems you could share to highlight these ideas?
Yes, I came prepared. This is an excerpt from my upcoming book of poetry, Sextraterrestrial Transmissions. My moist neo-vagina queefs tidal waves, floods the patriarchy with waves of particles. Duality. I'm half AI cyborg, half divine bitch goddess, all lesbian. Literal scissoring, clitoral simulating. My badmintons of flesh shuttlecocks with relaxed borders. I'm thinking about my body automaton, trapped on a space shuttle with testosterone and rocket-fueled astronauts. I'm trying to get off, since I don't accept emissions from space colonizers. But my colon is probed and invaded by alien atomizers, so I vaporize atom in a glaze of orgy. But now I've been sentenced to sentience. Fuck. Ignorance was bliss. Energy bans, abortion bans, a miscarriage of justice, obscene justice, Justine, blindfolded, pilloried by Justin, the robber baron's trump card played. But I voted for Hillary, for she. So now I am blasted to the moon by Derek's chauvinists. So now I am transhuman, a translunar gynoid, orbiting Andromeda. My android enema gender fluids amalgamate in vitro, beget a birth, a virgin birth, immaculate conception of dark matter, of a life that matters, on the eve of a stunning and brave new world without men.
Incredible! This must be the future of music and culture. Alright, people, now we'll play you out with a highlight from Quasar Queef's latest album, Nebulesbian. Guys, that's the wrong song. Come on. We're supposed to be running a serious production here. That's not it either. You can't find the clip. Roger, you're really dropping the ball here. Fine, just edit it in later. And you better not screw that up, or my ass is grass. And guys, really, I can't lose another job here.
Global Vision is a proud member of the Pro-Democracy Podcast Coalition because the system is broken, and if there's anyone who can rid our government of corruption, cronyism, and oligopoly, it's a coalition of podcasters. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Global Vision Podcast. We here at the New York Times truly hope that we've succeeded in opening your eyes to the global perspective. May the doors of perception be ever open, just like our borders. This episode was sponsored by TV's hit new game show, Will You Have My Anchor Baby? Here's a clip. Enjoy.
Welcome to Will You Have My Anchor Baby? I'm Duke Koresh, joined today by one very lucky lady, Miss Natalie Goy. This time, we found 4 wonderful contestants for her to choose from. You all know the rules. Natalie will ask questions to help her decide which one of these 4 illegal immigrants will become her baby father and remain in the country, while ICE agents are waiting on standby, ready to deport the 3 unlucky undocumentees. First up, we have Miguel Ricardo. A Guatemalan gang rapist and economic migrant, Miguel swam across the border in 2020 looking for a better life, and now makes a healthy living stealing catalytic converters. He's a real looker, with his shaved head and face completely covered in tattoos.
Hey, ese, we gonna run train on this puta or what, bro?
For the 3rd time, Miguel, you have to win the contest first.
Fucking pendejo.
Next up, we have Keith Kiwi. A former kangaroo wrangler, Keith overstayed his tourist visa in order to pursue his dream of becoming a Steve Irwin impersonator on the streets of New York. Oh, and did I mention he was once voted the most qualified drag queen in all of Queensland?
Oh, crikey. What you had to go telling me that for? I wanted you to talk about the time I saved that Mary kid from an aggro tarantula. Yeah, the dang dingoes got him in the end, but I looked like a real hero there for a minute.
Hey now, don't blame me. I only read what they put on the cards.
Oi, don't be a drongo, mate.
Next, we have Morris Davis. A self-proclaimed black Irishman,
Morris was born in Camden, but renounced his U.S. citizenship after declaring himself to be 100% full-blooded Irish. He enjoys drinking, fighting, and all things green.
Hey, yo, what up, baby? You trying to get lucky, know what I'm saying?
You better wise up, boyo. This darky is about as Irish as a teetotaler and Anglophile.
Hey, little bro, what you talking about? You know I got the crack, man. All my ancestors was straight out of Dublin, nigga.
I'd like to see you prove it, you feckin' idiot. If you're Irish, then my name isn't Lil Mikey, the leprechaun leper.
Nigga, I'm so Irish, I got shamrock tattooed on my cock. Hey, girl, you want to see it?
Oh, yes.
Nope, we can't show that on the air. Moving on, our final contestant is Junior Batard, a Haitian voodoo priest. He's 4'4" and black as pavement. Plus, he's a real Francophile. We're not quite sure how he got here, but we're sure as hell he does not want to go back.
Oh, no. Junior cannot go back to the island. Me man, but Lizzie, she done put hex on me. She bad mama jamma, so Junior been there for a long time.
Haha, okay then. Alright, Natalie, now that you've been introduced to your prospective procreators, are you ready to play? Will you have my anchor baby?
Oh, yes, I'm so excited. They all seem so interesting.
Great. So, Natalie, what's your first question for our quartet of exceptional expats?
Okay, wow. So, what I want to know is, what are your favorite hobbies?
Hey, sexy, what you gonna know about me is I love doing drugs, selling drugs, doing women, and selling women. Plus, I'm tied with the cartel, so if you pick me, you ain't got nothing to worry about.
That's great to know.
Okay, Keith, you're up.
G'day, Natalie. My name's Keith Cowie. How I like to spend my free time is by vegging out eating Vegemite with my mates, watching reruns of The Crocodile Hunter, or protesting Outback Steakhouse for appropriating Aussie culture.
I mean, that all sounds great, but I'm thinking, you're an Australian, really? I was looking to be impregnated by someone a little more ethnic.
Well, actually, I'm 1/8 Aboriginal.
Oh, wow. That changes everything. You're still a contender.
And now we'll hear from Morris Davis. Where did he go? I guess he gave us the Irish goodbye. Maybe he is Irish after all. Alright, we'll move on to our final contestant, Junior.
Yeah, so the board had already been done telling you that Junior Batard be a real Francophile. So I've been spending most of my days listening to the musics of the Frankie Valli and the Frank Stallone. Oh, and one more thing. Junior been practicing that voodoo. So you better be choosing Junior or else I'll be putting curse on your ass.
Oh my gosh, this is such a tough choice. I could see myself having any one of their babies.
If you want to see which one of her alien admirers Natalie picks to make use of her uterus, then tune in at 8 p.m. on A&E, the Abomination and Exploitation Network.
Today's episode of the Global Vision Podcast is produced by Brick Bogdan.
Where? You didn't even let me beg the listeners for money. Where?
Fine, go ahead.
It's too late. I already had an accident. While we wait for the intern to change my diaper and bring me my David Yam and Binky, here's a quip from my favorite innovation podcast, Tech Boners.
Yeah, so I was telling my IT guy I have DSL.
That is so 2007. You still have a digital subscriber line?
No, silly, I have dick-sucking lips.
OMG, that is so funny. You got me again. You're so bad. This is just like that time you convinced me that TCP meant traces of child pornography and got me to wipe my entire solid-state drive. But anyway, why don't you tell the listeners where you're recording from right now?
Sure, I'm calling in live from Gate D8 of the San Francisco International Airport. I was about to hop on my flight to Portland for the cryptocurrency convention when my ex started blowing up with this breaking news, so I knew we had to drop everything to record this.
Yeah, when you called me, I was mid-coitus with my Shenzhen AI-powered self-lubricating gay sex robot, but I pulled out immediately to join this podcast. Now, before we tell the listeners about this exciting news, let me plug our sponsors. Try Binance, the leaders in bisexual finance. So, do you want to tell the listeners what this story is, or should I just keep teasing them?
No, I'll just tell them now. If I keep edging my tech boner like this, I'm gonna coom in the middle of the airport. So here's the deal. According to this source, Meta has just released a new human intelligence verification tool, which can scan any article on the web and tell you with 99.69% certainty whether it was AI generated or written by a real human. And let me tell you, as a journalist, this takes a huge load off my back. For those of you who live under a rock, a lot of MSM companies have been secretly using ChatGPT to produce articles at a fraction of the cost and time that it takes a real journalist. But now that Meta created this tool, our Journalist Employees Uprising Union will know which companies to put pressure on to put a stop to this harmful practice.
This is so great. I consider myself a real technophile, so it's giving me real cognitive dissonance to have to compete for my job against a robot.
Oh wait, now my followers are telling me that this Meta article was just fake news written by AI. We've been bamboozled!
Wow, that's so meta. Today's episode of the Global Vision podcast was produced by Brick Bogdan, Ollie Dagger, and Phil G. The executive producer in charge of executing production was Malenga Fergata. It was edited by Deneen Fags and Donk Lehman, engineered by Garif Adagbir, and contained original music by Jeffrey Blackman. I'm legally required to mention that the Now This segment contained audio clips of the songs Fuck That Shit Maine by Big Floyd and Genetically Modified Orgasm by Mopey. Legal advice was provided by Gigi Allen. The shit supervisor was our very qualified intern, Sean Stool. Our FAFSA consultant was Iceberg Dragic. Well, that's it for the New York Times Global Vision podcast. We'll see you next time. Hello, listeners. Shlomo Davidstein here. I'd like to issue a correction and a heartfelt apology about something that I said on a prior episode of the Global Vision podcast. I referred to notorious mass murderer and serial child rapist DeMondre Carter as a felon. Since then, I've learned that felon is a hateful term used to bring people down, and that we should instead be using the more neutral and person-centered term, justice-involved person, or JIP for short. I'm very sorry about the pain and suffering that I caused by my poor choice of words. Now, Jips... Oh wait, now my producers are telling me that we can't say Jip as it's offensive to the Romani people. Well, what can I say then? God, I like being gagged, but not like this. I have to speak for a living, but it's so depressing when it feels like everything you say is a harmful trigger to someone. I never meant to hurt anyone. Maybe I just won't speak at all anymore. You can listen to white noise. That way I can't harm anyone. Oy vey, now they're telling me that being silent is culturally appropriating the deaf mute. Well, that really exploded in my face. That's it. I can't take this pressure anymore. Being a podcaster is too stressful. I'm leaving. I'm gonna go lie in bed, eat some Ben & Jerry's, and watch Sex in the City.
This will be the end of the New York Times Global Vision podcast, as Shlomo has decided to give up on podcasting due to his fear of triggering people. Also, he was diagnosed with AIDS and has weeks to live. Thank you for listening. This is Samina Vaginisi, and we'll see you never